Adam here with Brooksaw Antiques. Today we have this 1962 Hermes 3000 vintage portable typewriter. I'm going to show you how to use the functions and make sure they all work. Made in Switzerland and the top typewriter of all time. And this is the first generation of the Hermes 3000. It's got the curvier all metal shell. The second generation was an all metal squared off top. And the third generation went hard plastic, super boxy shell. All three have the same basic performance, top of the line, everything. And this one has unique font, so stick around to see that section when I get to it. Up top is the adjustable paper guide. This helps you guide the page in straight. I'm going to line that up with the edge of the platen, which is the main roller that feeds the paper. This is the paper support arm that flips up from the back. And this is the paper bale that sits on top. It's got two adjustable rollers to scale in the margin indicators in red. To set the margins, this has a different mechanism, so lightning margin system. So right now it's right on the edge of the page, but if I want it closer to the middle, I just put the carriage where I want it and then flip this switch here in the middle. It'll send the margin to that spot and it'll show it in the red there on the paper bale. To set it closer to the edge, you just hold the lightning margin and push it to where you want it and then let it go. Same concept with the right side. Right now it's pretty much in the middle, but if you wanted it closer to the edge, then you hold the carriage release, which is the green button, and then the lighting margin at the same time, push it to where you want it, let it go. It'll stop there at that spot. And if you want it closer to the middle, you just put the carriage where you want it and then flip that lighting margin and it sends it to that spot. I'm going to keep it right there, pretty close to the middle. All right. Once you hear the bell, you're near the end of the margin. Hit this line space, gets you back to the beginning, and skips 1, 1.5, or 2 spaces. Right now we have it on single, which skips 2 half spaces when you have it in the middle. It skips 3 half spaces, and when you have it on the 2, it skips 4 half spaces. We're going to keep that on single for now and finish typing. It's hard to tell because there's a half spaces. I think that's the right spot. As you can see, all the keys type nice and none of them skip or stick. I'll type a sentence in red on the next line. Switch from black to red. There's a switch on the right side. Flip that down to the red indicator all the way down. It prints the bottom portion of the ribbon, which is red. When you have it on the yellow indicator, it prints right down the middle between the black and the red. And that's mostly used if you have a solid one color ribbon. You can use it 3 times by using the top, the middle, and the bottom. But if you just use that with the black and red, it makes the ink look inconsistent. When you have it on the blue indicator, it prints the top portion of the ribbon, which is black. When you have it up top on the silver indicator, it prints no ink at all. It just leaves a stencil for copying purposes. We're going to move that all the way down for red. Absolutely beautiful, the best of the best. Such a pleasure to type on. Don't even really have to try. You just find the key. It's weird how that works. It's super cushion type. This one feels a little bit more cushioned and comfortable than the second and third generation for some reason. Just got a little bit different of a setup, but mostly the same performance. And let's take a look at that unique font. We have cursive script, close to 13 characters per inch. Beautiful font. Very rare on this machine. Super good condition, also known as the Bentley of typewriters. To pull the page out easy, we're going to flip the switch forward here on the right side. Unlocks the rollers underneath the platen line when you would pull the page out easy or load thicker paper like carbon copy or cardstock. Make sure you flip that back before you load the next page or else it won't load correctly. Going to flip this down for now. Put the color back on black. Got a shift on each side and a shift lock on the left. To clear that, just hit the shift button again. Backspace on the left side. Very good. Tab on the top right. This has tab set on 10 space intervals. I'm just going to clear them all in one button by hitting this button in the middle with the 3 lines there. And that should clear all the tabs. And I always like to set one somewhere in the middle, so that way when you hit the tab button, it doesn't go slamming all the way to the end, causing wear and tear on your typewriter. By just hitting that plus sign where you want it, and it stops at that spot. To clear one tab at a time, you just hit the minus sign. So you got a plus to set, minus to clear one tab, and then the 3 lines to clear all tabs. And this button with the arrows going in both directions is the margin release. When you get to the end of the margin, there's a mechanism that blocks you from printing. Hit that margin release, it will allow you to type past that all the way to the end. And this has the 1 key. Typically, most typewriters that are vintage don't have a 1 key. So you have to hit the lowercase L, but since this has cursive, they added the one key on the right side here, and it also gives you an exclamation point. So that's pretty cool. On the second and third generation, they put them right up here on right next to it, like a traditional computer keyboard. To pop off the top, we're going to pull it from the back like that. It hooks in from the front. All metal top, all metal, pretty much everything except for the knobs and the keys. All the brand new ribbons loaded on the left side, so it's pulling clockwise to the right if you want to switch that direction manually. The side you want it to go to, you just flip this ribbon guide towards the middle, and that's meant to catch the eyelet at the end of the ribbon and swap it automatically to the side it needs to go to. And we want it to pull to the right for now. We're going to hook this back in from the front first and line it up with these two levers here, and then push it down on the back. Sometimes you might have to help it a little bit to get it past those two back stoppers. This is your touch control. There's an arrow going up. You got 4 options, and the higher you go, the more tension there is when you hit the keys. You do have to hit the keys harder for them to print, but they respond faster. The lower you go, the less tension. And that's it on the keyboard. Carriage release on both sides here. So I did not snap that down correctly, because you can see there's a little scuff there from people doing that on accident. So I'm just going to try it again. And if you don't set this properly, then you'll drag a little bit on the carriage return. So I just want to make sure that that's down. There we go. Carriage release on the left side and lighting margin, and we do have a carriage lock on the right side. So you push it down, it will release the carriage and lock it in the middle. And if you want to unlock it, you just push it down and then move it to the right like that. Very good. If you pull out the knob on the left side, it disables the spacing so you can get to an exact spot on the page. You push it in, you get the clicks. Each one of those clicks is a half a space, and the same concept. If you push the line space selector all the way back, it disables again. You just want to be careful when you do that because you will lose your line if you're keeping track of lines. And that's it. Now available on eBay or Etsy or my new website, brooksawantiques.com.